Good morning, it's 7:30 in my car. About to hit this mountain. I'm gonna call it a mountain. If we're having a good day. Haven't worked out in like 4 days. I'm sick. Remember this today, because this is the premonition I had this morning when I was meditating. It's let your actions speak for your words. I was talking to somebody yesterday, a friend of mine, and he was like, you seem kind of bitter or jaded or something's going on with you in your vlogs. Hey, I'm not going to deny that. Yeah, I have some jadedness, but that comes with age. I feel like our problems make us who we are, and that jadedness definitely helps me in my comedy, like my writing. Like, I'm a better comedian. I'm a better I'm more skilled than where I was 10 years ago. And I'm sure you are too. Whatever you do with your life, like our problems are meant to, make us better. Like even like relationship stuff, and we know what we don't want and we know what we're good at. That's what I think. I'm gonna hit this mountain. Going to the groceries in West Hollywood. I'm not gonna vlog in the groceries because I have to wear a mask, but I realize I'm spending at least $10 a day, maybe 20 a day on food, because I have no food in my fridge because I was in Florida. And I was like, this is just an exorbitant amount of money I'm spending, on a weekly basis. I remember when I had a day job, and I was doing comedy at nights, but I had a day job, and I had money. And when I had money, I had girlfriends, and I would just, we would find the nicest restaurant every week and just go out and splurge. Because in my 20s, I never had money. And then in my 30s, I had a job, so I had money. And I was also drinking at that time too. So we'd go out and have steak, wine. And I realize now in retrospect, I was so miserable at my jobs that I would use girls as a way of just enjoying my life, because you really have nothing else, or I had nothing else. And now that I'm doing what I want to do, I really have no desire to party like that. Maybe once in a while, but not often. Just talking to my mom last night. I got invited to this wedding on November 20th, and I can't go. One of my good friends is getting married, but I can't go because I already booked a comedy spot, and I already got paid for that spot. So I told my mom that, and she was like, why aren't you going to the wedding? You can meet somebody there. It's such a big Indian thing to meet someone at the wedding. I'm like, Mom, I don't want to meet anybody. Why can't I just be single and do my thing? But there's this stigma about being Indian and single. You're just miserable. I'm not miserable. I am miserable, but not because I'm single. I'm miserable for different reasons. I am kind of sick of the whole wedding thing though. Weddings are just these Indian weddings especially, you go, you sit there, you fake bullshit conversation, and then you have to dance. And then, I told one of my friends, true story, good friend of mine, I was like, he's getting married, and I was like, man, don't invite me to your wedding. I'll just give you money. And that's what happened. He didn't invite me, and I gave him $200. The end. This is where I go for my groceries, if anybody cares. I like going to the groceries in the morning. It's less crowded, especially in LA. Just finding a parking space is a bitch. We did it! Grocery store. All right, look at all this fun stuff I bought. I got some berries here. These bananas I had. But I want to make a milkshake, a peanut butter milkshake. And I was like, how hard can this be? I got eggs, hummus, oatmeal, almond milk. I know this looks super healthy, and it is. I really feel for me, I have to be so picky what I eat. It does not come easy to me to be in shape. You see me, I wake up in the morning, I watch what I eat during the day, I try not to buy sugar. For me, I can't buy stuff in my house. I can't have it because I have no portion control. So no cookies, cake, none of that shit. Maybe one day I'll let it all go, but not now. What is that? Can you guys hear that? Like, what is this? This is what living in the city. It sounds like somebody's drilling through the wall. Anyways, I'm gonna start writing, which means no phone, no distractions. You know, try to block out no distractions as someone tunnels through the sewers. Check it later. It's almost 4 o'clock. I caved. I got a coffee, espresso. I couldn't help it. You know what? Part of the reason I leave the house is because I just need to talk to someone. I've been working on this movie. I'm on the rewrite part. If anybody wants to write, this is my advice. Just get it done, the first draft. Don't judge it, just get it done, and then the writing starts in the revisions. Because that's really when I do my best work, when I start to revise it. But my problem is it's so draining. Like, it takes all my creative energy to write, and then I want to write jokes, and I'm just like done. Like, I can feel my mind's tired, and I'm not putting out my best work. So, welcome caffeine. That's where this juice kicks in, and hopefully I can get a couple more hours in. But tonight I was thinking about going to the Comedy Store. If you guys want to see that or not. I mean, I've done vlogs there years ago. I was thinking about it, just I might see some old friends there. And it might be fun just to take a walk up Sunset. So this just happened. You know, I was talking with the Comedy Store, like I should just go up and say hello. And then I was like, you know, I should just call in. I'm in town. And they got rid of the booker. Like, the old booker is kind of Adam Egget. He's the dude on Norm Macdonald podcast, his sidekick. I don't have a problem with that guy at all, but he just didn't like my comedy, and he stopped booking me 3 years ago. So, like, all my years at the Comedy Store just was like, for whatever. But not getting up at the Comedy Store made me do an infinite amount of other things. So it was like one door closes, another one opens. So I called the Comedy Store. I'm like, hey, is my name still on the list there? They're like, yeah, it is. And I was like, well, I'm calling in. They were like, yeah, you should call in. My friend was working the phones. And he was like, yeah, man, the new Booker will give you a shot. I was like, I'm not living in LA right now. But I was like, I'm calling in the next 2 weeks. She wants to see me. If I go back to the Comedy Store, it will be triumphant. Whatever happens, I do miss that club. This is the conclusion of this vlog. I never went to the Comedy Store because turns out they're not open during the week. They're only open on weekends. So basically just hung around here. Actually, I was watching this Seinfeld documentary. Yeah, it's really productive, right? Like, Seinfeld made this documentary like at least 20 years ago, when he was like getting back into stand-up after Seinfeld ended. And I'm actually in it with my roommate. You can see like my hand, or my roommate's hand. My roommate was like, hey, Seinfeld. And I was just like, oh my God, please don't embarrass me. And then he tried to shake Seinfeld's hand twice, and Seinfeld was like, yeah, we already shook. And I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. But I'm watching this documentary, and Orny Adams, this other comedian, is in it. And like, Seinfeld's like the Zen guy who's like all about the career and just taking his time. Of course, he's Seinfeld. He's had a hit TV show. And Orny Adams is this young guy. He's still around, but he's like really aggressive and just like you can tell the guy's just like insane how much he wants it. And they kind of make Orny look bad, but really, I think every comic has that hunger, like to the drive to succeed. Thing is, like, Orny Adams just happens to show his colors. You know, he wears his heart in his sleeve. It's not his fault, but I think a lot of comics are like that, and kind of feel bad for Orny. I met him once around that time, actually, at a party, and yeah, he was loud, but like, you know, he's just a comic, you know, and he got some breaks, and unfortunately, they didn't like manifest the way Seinfeld's career did, but I always like watching these documentaries about comedy. Like, because I can see it, right? Like when I see it, I'm like, man, this is who I am, unfortunately. You know, I wish I didn't see myself in this, but I do. I see a lot of myself in these comedians. Anyways, hopefully tomorrow will be more exciting. I appreciate you checking this out. Take care.